Welcome to Nutritious Delicious. This is part 4 of our non-traditional breakfast series. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Holly, and today we're making a superfood antioxidant-packed smoothie for you.
Sounds good, right?
Yes.
All right, so we've got all sorts of delicious ingredients set up here. And Holly, I'm going to let you tell our audience a little bit about this wonderful smoothie. It's her concoction. She worked very hard to get all these ingredients together and perfect it.
Yeah. So it looks like there's a lot involved here, but it's actually pretty simple. I love this smoothie as a breakfast. I also use it as a snack sometimes if I just add fewer ingredients as a snack and I leave some of the more energizing ingredients out. But I love it because it is really energizing. It has some cacao in it, so I have this instead of tea or coffee in the morning, and it's also a meal, so it's great. It's really quick. And yeah, we're gonna get started. So
she mentioned cacao, which a lot of people may not be familiar with what that is. You can call it cocoa. It's what chocolate comes from. It's very high in antioxidants and fiber. So that's why it's a great part of this recipe, because it'll tide you over with that fiber and it'll give you the antioxidant boost you need if you're doing a workout that day or just rushing around all over the place. It's a really good ingredient. It tastes delicious too.
Yeah, it's also a good vegetarian source of iron, and it's a good source of magnesium too.
Right,
so,
yeah.
And it's super energizing. So I actually recommend leaving that out if you're going to make this smoothie in the afternoons or in the evenings, because if you're sensitive, it will prevent you from being able to fall asleep. So
right, so we don't want that. But in the morning, maybe a really good
great in the morning. Okay, so we start with some fruit. You can add about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of blueberries.
We've got just under a 1/2 cup of frozen blueberries here. And I learned an interesting factoid today, is that frozen blueberries may even be a little bit more absorbable or bioavailable to the body than fresh. So it's a good alternative. If you always try to go fresh, that's great. But for blueberries,
yeah, they're great if they're out of season. You can get organic blueberries fairly inexpensive year-round. So
terrific.
Yeah.
So we've got blueberries in there.
Yeah, and then sometimes, we don't have that here today, but sometimes I'll add 1/2 a banana or 1/2 an avocado to this smoothie. It really makes the texture nice and creamy.
Creamy good. If you're sensitive to carbs, not as great, because we've already got a lot of good carb sources here. So we are intentionally leaving out the banana, but it does add a lot of texture. So you know, if you do great with carbs, then adding 1/2 of a banana that's not super ripe into the mix would be very good.
Yeah, and then if you don't do so well with carbs, but you still want something creamy, 1/2 an avocado is a tasty way to get it nice and smooth and creamy. And the avocado kind of absorbs the flavors of the other foods, so you don't really taste like you're drinking guacamole.
Which is good. All right. So here we have some maca, some raw maca powder.
Yeah, also organic. Maca is a root that is another superfood. It's one of my favorites. It's really, really good for your adrenal glands. So it's also energizing. Helps your adrenals not respond to stress so intensely as they might. So it can help reduce cortisol levels and keep you calm yet energized. So I really love it. It has kind of a nutty flavor too.
Word on cortisol, thanks for bringing that up. That's, so many people are under chronic stress. I don't know anyone who isn't actually under chronic stress. So this is really good for helping reduce, to mitigate those effects of chronic stress. Because it is a nice portable breakfast, we do recommend, you know, if you're consuming it en route to work or to wherever you're going, it's not the best thing to do for your adrenal glands, because when you're getting somewhere, you are producing more cortisol. So it actually shuts down your digestion and makes it harder for you to get the nutrients from whatever you're consuming. But it is portable, so you can consume it when you get to your destination, and it's a good time saver. Yeah,
I definitely recommend, you know, being calm when you eat so that you get all these yummy nutrients.
Yeah. Oh, and now we have the delicious coconut butter.
Coconut butter. So this is another thing that makes it really, really creamy. Yeah, I add about a tablespoon.
A little heaping bit of delicious fat.
Yeah, so it's really fatty. It's great healthy fats, and a lot of people get it confused with coconut oil, but it's different. It's actually the meat of the coconut along with the oil. So it has all the other components.
It really tastes like you're eating coconut.
Yes, it is so good.
Yeah, and we've got some organic almond butter here. We're gonna put again
a heaping
tablespoon of that.
We don't always measure, so we try to do it for you guys, but
it'll be good.
Yeah. Just eyeball it. It'll be great.
Nut butters also add a good amount of, add to the texture of the smoothie. Almond butter is a great source of fat. There's some protein in there as well. If you need more protein, you probably want to choose peanut butter unless you have a sensitivity to it because it is richer in protein. Pumpkin seed butter is going to alter the flavor. It's not as neutral, but it is also higher in protein than almond butter.
And it's a great source of zinc, so
again, good for stress.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now we're going to add the raw cacao nibs. We've got about a tablespoon here.
Yeah.
And Holly, you were telling me that you really like the nibs because it adds a kind of crunch to the smoothie. If you don't like crunch, you can alternatively use raw cacao powder.
Right.
And that's not going to have that effect. And this is Navitas Naturals. It's a really great source.
Really great brand. Yeah. They also make maca, so you can order it from their website or find it in any of the local stores in Santa Cruz. They'll have it.
Okay. So, and then we just need to add a milk.
Yeah, and then a fluid. So I definitely recommend adding some kind of milk as opposed to juice. Juices are just way too high in sugar. So we both love the raw milk.
Full fat. If you're vegan, you can use this almond butter. It's unsweetened vanilla.
Yeah, so it doesn't have sugar in it.
Butter, I think it's almond milk.
Almond milk, yeah.
Yeah.
No sugar added, but it still has a
butter.
little bit of a vanilla flavor, so it's tasty in this smoothie.
Yeah, and so we're going to use the whole raw milk, and it's it's got a good amount of protein, fat. It is heavier in carbohydrate than fat or protein by a few grams. It's not an excessively high carbohydrate beverage, definitely less than juice by a lot.
Yeah.
But that is something to be aware of if you're very sensitive. I really love raw milk because it's the type of fat that's in it is very beneficial to your metabolism and to helping your body to burn fat. It's got conjugated linoleic acids, which are a type of fatty acid that literally help your body to utilize fat. And it's also got the enzymes necessary to digest the milk itself, which when you have a pasteurized milk, those get heated and destroyed.
Yeah.
So if you have a lactose problem or you think you might, trying raw milk is definitely something I'd suggest because you may find that you just needed those extra enzymes in a non-processed fashion and you may digest it better.
Yeah. It's delicious.
So good. So we're just going to add enough to cover our concoction.
Yeah. That's good.
That's good right there? Okay,
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really up to you how thick or thin you want to make it, but I like to cover the ingredients.
Well, if they weren't piled up, that would definitely be covered.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, and let's talk just a little bit about protein. So because this is not that high in protein, we were discussing, well, what are ways to make it higher in protein? And Holly really likes, if you want to say
so this is one of the few protein powders that I actually like. Makes my approved list because it's very high in protein, low in carbs. There's no isolate products in it, and there's no added sweeteners. Plus, it has a bunch of other vitamins and things like that in it, and turmeric and green tea and things like that to make it really high in antioxidants. So
again, boosting the antioxidants.
Yeah, this isn't. I think you can only find this online, but we'll give you the
we'll put the link
source in below the video.
And you don't want to have whey protein isolates or any isolates because those don't exist in nature. We're used to a blend of amino acids, and also when you have isolates, it makes it harder for your body to digest because you may actually have to pull some of your reserves to be able to assimilate those nutrients.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a nutrient robber as opposed to giving your body a lot of nutrition. So it concentrates so much better.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really awful protein powders out there that have a lot of added sugar, preservatives, binders, easy ways for things that you might be intolerant to sneak in. So when I make smoothies, I add a couple raw eggs, and I would only do that if you know that source and it's a really good source of eggs, farm gathered as opposed to a more commercial brand of egg. But one egg is 6 grams of protein. toss a couple in, you just added 12 grams of protein.
I generally add, if I'm going to use this as my protein source, I'll put 2 scoops of this, which is 30 grams of protein. Protein powders aren't as absorbable as real foods, so it's kind of a false elevation. And then if I'm just going to have this as a snack, I'll just add 1 scoop of the protein. So let's add 1 scoop for this one.
And while Holly's doing that, we're using a KitchenAid hand blender, and it really saves time with cleanup, and it's less messy.
Yeah,
you don't
so
have to get out the
much
whole
easier than a
blender.
blender. Yeah.
So we're just going to hand blend it, and we'll be good to go for taste testing. All right, so we've got this all blended. Looks really good. All right, so let's pour it into the glass here and give it a little taste. All right. Hope you like purple.
Good.
Oh my god, this is really good. The cacao nibs are really crunchy too.
Good. Yeah.
And it's very nutty and satisfying, not just something you would shoot down the gullet and head on your way. This actually requires a little bit of chewing and enjoying. So, cheers. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.